I want to welcome everyone here tonight and for this LinkedIn overview. I am Deanna Vestal. I am attempting to multitask for you all by setting up my screen because I've just submitted to you a handout that you can use for tonight's presentation. We are here in the final month of the BSBA's SAC TAP program. We've been providing technical assistance to you all through our broadcasts and our workshops and through our writing labs. And tonight is LinkedIn for Business. The plan is to talk more about why we should use LinkedIn and how it can benefit you as a search engine when you're looking for information that you can't find anywhere else, just like you've been able to do here. So just briefly, since we opened up with a little networking, I'd like to find out who all is here and what you might have learned in the last 3 cycles participating with us at online with SACTAP. I can share with you what I have learned. I am a career path developer. I'm a business owner, and career path development was impacted by COVID-19 with an influx of executive coaching clients who, like Rick, were negatively impacted and were looking for ideas about how to transition to the new normal. And a lot of the executives that I worked with specifically really had staff that they were going to lose and wanted to be a resource to them, as well as make a transition by staying in business in a way that would be rewarding and fulfilling and kind of help them balance the pressure to continue to bring in an income with the reality that business as usual would no longer be. And I am very happy to assist people with how to access individuals and essential services using LinkedIn, and that's what I'll be doing here this evening. The SAC TAP program has assisted me in making a transition to more of an online platform where I can share this information with multiple people rather than repeating the same thing day after day. And so I'm hoping that any information you gain this evening can be really dive deep into this through a conversation that you might wish to have with me at another time outside of this. And if you want to get into the specifics about how to create your own profile or how to broaden your visibility as a part of the SACTAP program, I'd be happy to have a consultation with you after tonight's session. LinkedIn is really a very juicy place to have access, direct access to essential services, subject matter experts, potential customers, collaborating partners, and news you can use to do a few things. One, strategize what's next for you. Also, gain that sense of balance for how you're feeling with what you're doing. And then finally, to get started, to get on the road again, try out your concepts in an environment where people really know what they're talking about and are super happy to share their expertise. SACTAP has been really hard pressed about the information and resources and the value that access has to small Black businesses in particularly, and other leaders of color who have been really hustling this whole time and doing things based on what the customer wants or based on what their lending funding sources might require. But there is such a broader base of access that businesses have available to them simply by being in Sacramento and being connected to SACTAP and being on LinkedIn provides you that kind of access. So I want to know what you need in business right now? What are the pressing questions that have been plaguing you? And you're thinking, gosh, if I just had some help with this or with that. So let me be specific. Some of the things that might be plaguing you. If I had a business loan that was relevant to the transition, because the traditional loans no longer relate to you, then being a member of SACTAP has probably been very beneficial for you. What about coalition building? What kind of things are happening in politics today, in legislature, that might be directly spiking your curiosity about what your business does or what you could do as a business owner, and where your voice needs to be heard? The BSBA is a significant resource for what's going on right now. And if you have not been visiting and accessing the BSBA's website for any other reason besides registering for our classes, you are missing out to direct access to things that are going on in politics that affect you, to things that are going on in business, including opportunities to meet with people like me and other essential services providers, our writing labs, and et cetera. The news that BSBA has been in the news. So jump on if you need that and find out how access can impact your business. I'm going to open up the floor for a second and check the chat to see if someone has specific questions about what kind of access you have been just dying to have.
Are you saying a question? Sorry, Dan. With LinkedIn, I've been building my LinkedIn follows the past 5 years. I have like over 6,000 LinkedIn that I connect to, but I never really paid attention, like, using my LinkedIn followers to be able to use it to my maximum benefit, like I'm doing with Facebook. I just never knew how to just start it. Like with Facebook, it was natural because you're always checking your Facebook posting, and I use a lot of Facebook and social media to promote myself and my business. But with LinkedIn, even though I have a lot of people, especially Sacramento business people, I just never used it. But you're right that it would be time. But I just never knew when to start, how to start, and where to start in a way with it.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Ms. Zion. And are you the proprietor of Queen Sheba?
Yes.
Fantastic. My pleasure to make your acquaintance. So that is exactly right. So once you have a profile on LinkedIn, knowing how to navigate it to get what you need is the big what's up. So we're going to be diving into that this evening. Some of the other comments or questions have been showing up in the chat. One is from Carmen. Hey, Carmen, I have shared the BSBA website with other small business owners and nonprofits that I know. Amen. It's an incredible resource. This is Miss Aneta's first class tonight. Welcome, Miss Aneta. Good. I hope that you do get everything you need to know. Her business is called blackplatform.org. I'll look forward to checking that out. Miss Jackie Howard says, as a ghostwriter, this has been a great resource to let small businesses know that I can help you write the documents you may need for your business. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Isn't that the truth? I can vouch for your writing and your sweet, sweet spirit. Carmen, the presentations have provided resources that I was unaware of. For example, I never heard of the Capital Women's Business Center prior to the presentation earlier this month. That's right. Many resources that had never before heard of, like access to contracting with the state, access to contracting with the city, and other forms of doing business have been a huge resource direct from the provider here. Ms. Dawn Marie, as a new formulated business venture, Dry Bones Consulting, these workshops have been right on time. Ooh, dry bones. I'll be looking forward to finding out more about that. Patty Barnes, Lester Consulting Group. If you are on this call today and are interested in doing networking in new and profound ways, please feel free to either screenshot the chat or to start taking some notes so that you can look at other people's um, online resources or their online platforms. You can also feel free to show specific interest right here by typing your message in the chat.
Deanna,
Fantastic.
Let me interrupt and tell you that at the bottom of the chat thing where it says file, there's
Yes.
three little dots, and if you click on the three little dots, it will allow you to save the chat.
Fantastic.
So you don't have to keep taking all these notes or trying to catch screenshots.
Did you get that, everybody? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well said. So I didn't hear anyone ask a specific question about the kind of access you actually need in business right now. So let's talk about what LinkedIn is and who it's for. Traditionally, LinkedIn has been easily thought of as a place to find a job. And yet the environment, the culture of LinkedIn is for people like us, business leaders who are looking for resources of how to grow their business, how to find exceptional candidates without weeding through all of the stuff that comes through Craigslist or Indeed, meaning resumes on the back end, and learn how to really connect with people. That is what LinkedIn is. It is an organic community of folks who believe in folks and want to provide information straight from the horse's mouth and get it straight from the executive leader's perspective without having to cut through bureaucracy or the gatekeeper. And that really is who LinkedIn benefits. Have you heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know? So let's talk a little bit about who influences you on social media, in civic organizations, famous folks, and friends and family. I want to take a minute right now and just pay homage in writing to address who influences you. There is a reason for this. It is LinkedIn related. Chat and write down names or business people, businesses, and business people that influence you. Why? Because strategic connections make the difference. These are the folks you're going to have access or want to gain access to on LinkedIn. Let's talk about how. First and foremost is a straight up shout out to Cher Jones, who you can connect with without her knowing you. A lot of people on LinkedIn are not just going to allow you to connect with them like you can on Instagram or Facebook. It's a much more exclusive platform. But Cher Jones is an educator, a social media educator all the way around. But her ability to explain what LinkedIn does and how to use it for business is not only phenomenal, but very entertaining. And she offers a live workshop every single Tuesday at 6 o'clock for just 30 minutes. She times herself to make sure she don't go over. I want you to write her name down as an influencer so that when you are on LinkedIn, even if you don't have a profile completely set up yet, you can really dive deep into the particulars, how LinkedIn works, how to gain the kind of connections that you're looking for and the kind of questions to ask to fine tune that. So please add Cher Jones to your list of influencers. Next, I'm going to make your life a lot easier by giving you direct access to Louis Stewart, who is an influencer right here in Sacramento. He has recently left his position in city leadership, but is now one of the decision makers for a angel investment group, and which is here in California, and is someone you could dialogue with, who is very, very eager to help small businesses have access to large resources in Sacramento specifically, because that's where he lives, and his power reach is dynamic. He is super easy to talk to, and after doing a little research, it might seem like he's intimidating. So visit his LinkedIn page, read through some of his articles, like the one he posted here, which was posted during the heightened awareness of the annihilation attempted on Black men's lives right now in our culture. And he was very candid about how hard it is to be a man in leadership, in civic leadership, and also be Black and also be married to a white lady. Dynamic communicator, super powerful, right here in Sacramento, and you have hands-on access to him through LinkedIn. Let's say you do have your profile all the way created, and LinkedIn does offer you a step-by-step process. And again, do not be intimidated. If you're setting it up and want to have a quick question asked or answered, you can contact me directly. If you'd like to have a one-on-one where you can have your LinkedIn profile set up with hands-on assistance from start to finish, same thing, contact me, okay? But if you are on LinkedIn and you have a business or personal profile established, when you find someone that you want to connect with, reach out to them using private messaging. Feel free to tell them right from the beginning that you are a member of BSBA SAC TAP. I would encourage you to spell out what TAP is, because everyone does not automatically know that it's a technical assistance program. But then describe in no more than 2 sentences how COVID has affected your business. And then ask in the end for a personal consult or an introductory conversation, and put your name and phone number at the end of the message. This is how to get the biggest wigs out there to reply to you personally and have these personal conversations, mentorship in the moment for absolutely the cost of your time. If you prefer to be more of a voyeur and just gain information, news you can use, and certain tips and tricks to be more effective in your transition, then you want to make sure you are clicking the like button when you see information you love, because LinkedIn has a private algorithm, and the more you click what you like, the more you'll see it in your feed. Is that clear? Is there any questions you have about the whole like algorithm?
I have a question, how can they, with my LinkedIn, honestly, sometimes why I don't even like to look at it. I get so many like salespeople saying, like you said, with few words, this is what we do, da 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 da, and a lot. So how can we just be personal in a way? That's a message that they send me every time I open up my link account. It's like I have 10, 20 messages from salespeople telling me how much they can sell this and that. So how do we make it in a personal, or do you see what I mean?
I sure do. So one of the things you want to do, first of all, is this on your personal, your first and last name account, or is this on your business name account?
It's on my personal account.
So you have 2 options. One is to go to settings and require that people prove how they know you before they can message you. And LinkedIn takes care of all of that right in the invitation. So someone tries to connect with you, and they can only do it. LinkedIn will ask them a series of questions and make them prove it. So like if they say, oh, we've worked together in a company before, then they have to know your email address and type it in order to have access to you. The
Okay.
other thing that you can do is to start either denying the message or flagging it, which will let LinkedIn know, the algorithm know, that you are not open to sales calls. And then you'll start getting messages that it takes a couple of weeks, but at first you'll start getting messages that flag, you have a potentially flagged message, and then you'll stop getting those.
Okay.
Great question.
I have a quick question.
Hit me.
All right. My name's Alex. I haven't used the LinkedIn in like forever. How do you associate like your LinkedIn with a business? Because I don't think, cause like where I work at, well, the business that Lashana Premier, she's that's my mother-in-law, so I'm partnering with her as my business partner. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't even think we have a LinkedIn. So how would if I wanted to start one, would I just start one, it will be separate from my own?
Absolutely. So when you jump on LinkedIn, you have the option to toggle your accounts just like you would on Facebook and just like you would on Instagram. So you can create a new profile starting from the beginning. And then if you want to connect them or have the option to toggle, you can. And LinkedIn will straight up assist you in making that decision through the profile setup process.
Okay, thank you for that.
And then yes, you can have a business account and you'll be able to use it and navigate it just as you would any other business account on social media, specifically Facebook or Instagram. You can post from there, you can engage with others, everything.
Okay. I'm trying to catch up with you guys.
There is excuse me?
I'm trying to catch up.
Amen.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was gonna ask you is that I know it's business, just like Facebook. When it's a business account, do they charge? Or do you recommend to pay extra? Because I know they charge some kind of amount if you want to have more access to LinkedIn. So do you recommend? Is it worth to pay?
That's a great question. It depends. I am definitely a supporter of the It Depends movement. Okay. So you can use LinkedIn for free for a long time and do well with it for free. Once you are ready to grow your business by hiring new staff, or when you want to have direct access, let's say to, what is that man, Sir Richard Bronson, I think is his name, who owns all of the Virgin brands, then you would need a paid account to be able to private message him. And that's the kind of reason, I mean, the regular influencers, I say regular, like let's say under $10 million net worth influencers like Gary Vee are still accessible with your free account. And yet when you want to reach people who are in a significantly different tax bracket professionally in business, then yes, you would want to have a LinkedIn premium account. The other reason that's two reasons. One is just said, and I just want to repeat that the other reason is to find dynamic professionals by posting jobs on LinkedIn, because you're going to get an entirely different standard of professional by posting your job on LinkedIn.
Yeah, got it.
Deanna, did I understand you to say that you can use you can link a personal LinkedIn file to create a business file, or do they have to be two separate files?
Great. They do have to be two separate files. I appreciate that distinction. They do have to be two separate files, but you can connect them for a toggle so that as the administrator, you can choose how you want to show up to your
Okay,
audience.
thank you.
How about changing, like, let's say my personal is have over 6,000 LinkedIn followers. Can I change it to a business so it kind of generalize my businesses instead of me personal? Would you recommend that?
Okay, it depends. If you want it specifically for your 6,000 followers, because it sounds like some of these 6,000 followers have not been well vetted and they're having
Yeah.
access to your personal messaging.
Yes.
So if that's a big, big problem, you know, I have just under 10,000 connections, and I do not get any like one-off crazy messages that are not sponsored from LinkedIn. So on one hand, yes, you can simply edit the way your profile is named. So right now it's named Miss Zion. You would go in there and you would change the name to Queen of Sheba.
Yes.
And then you would change the profile picture, most likely. And then other than that, you would continue to use it as an individual, and your name is Queen of Sheba.
Okay, perfect.
Otherwise, you are going to be starting from scratch with your connections.
Yeah, that's what I don't want. Yes.
You may want that. Actually, you may want that. But I'd be happy to have an offline discussion with you if you want to make that kind of decision really valuable.
Yes, please. Yes.
Mhm. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, LinkedIn is a professional platform, and it is important that you have a clear idea about what access would do for you. What kind of access strategically are you looking for, and what would that personal human interaction do for you? What would you want to gain from access to a decision maker that could change your life tomorrow? And for that, you might need to attend more writing labs. And BSBA has been offering writing labs and may continue to do that in the new year. Please keep your eyes peeled for information about ongoing writing labs, or reach out to me personally. My contact information will be listed at the end of this prezo, but you can also find me at the BSBA's website. And you want to know who can help. You may not have the name of your influencer, but you can identify the persona or the characteristics by answering a few basic questions. Just because the questions are basic doesn't mean it's easy to develop your ideal influencer. But it is doable and well worth the effort, because once you do, you can have these incredibly meaningful conversations that you might have thought you needed more net worth, or you needed more education, or you needed more contacts to have. And the reality is that LinkedIn can help you have direct access, as can BSBA and career path development. We've been talking mostly with Ms. Zion about different scenarios in her experience using LinkedIn. But now I'd like to open the floor to talk about your business scenarios for the rest of us. What has been your experience with either using LinkedIn for business or the BSBA tab? Have you been networking, conducting business together? And can you share that with us here?
Are you asking me?
No, actually, we have heard, you gave us some great examples of how LinkedIn has worked for you. And I'm asking now, opening it of the audience to share similar experiences. What have you been using LinkedIn for, and how has this experience with Saks Tap over the last 4 months been improving your access to other professionals?
I mean, for me, this is a way of really honestly connecting with you guys, because you give us so much information. This is not enough. So we have access through you. In a way, a lot of other door opens for us. So I think the technical assistant program is like is an amazing thing for us. Not just the technical program, even just connecting with you guys is a huge advantage, because we are getting education, the direct information direct from you. Because sometimes even just to get to people to find the experts, it's hard. You know,
Yes.
that was my struggle for me as a business owner for a long time, finding who the experts are on this, on that, on that. So you guys just provided it for us right there. So it's up to us after that to follow up and hassle you.
Well, and hassle us. No hassling. Thank you, everyone. I do want to follow up with some information on the chat and uh, maybe create a thread between with what Miss Zion is saying, because LinkedIn, if you can write the scenario that maybe, for example, like what Zion has been talking about in this conversation, the experience that you've had or how COVID has impacted your business, whether it's one paragraph or 5 pages, LinkedIn provides a platform for you to publish your work. You do not have to be looking to become a writer. Okay, first of all, you have Miss Jackie if you need help getting your thought across. But if you want to be heard for the struggle or the challenges and the achievements that have happened or a praise report, LinkedIn readers want to know your business in that way. And then you get, it attracts people to you who want to help. Hey, I read your article. I really love to connect. It is rare and is not the norm. As a matter of fact, it's socially inetiquette for people to be selling you things on LinkedIn. That is not typical.
I'm sorry, Deanna. Hi, Deanna.
Yeah. Hello, Heidi Williams.
Hello. Hey, so I just wanted to jump in there because I've had a LinkedIn account, and it's always been a business account. But I'm just so glad that you mentioned about not selling, because I was just thinking, we're not supposed to be selling on it. And so I really never knew what to do other than the job thing. And since I already had my own business, I was really never looking for a job. Since I was trying to, do my own thing, but I never knew what to really do with it. So I have these contacts that I have no idea what to do, and second generation and third generation. And so I'm thinking, what do you do to, what are you supposed to be generating was my main question. So I haven't done anything with all my contacts.
I want you to use LinkedIn as a search engine.
Okay.
So that's number one. Use LinkedIn as a search engine to answer your pressing business questions. You want to find people there like you have been finding here, which is why I keep making the correlation. So when you reflect on BSBA SACTAP, which has provided us access to people we would not have known any other way, what was significant about these interactions? Then you can use LinkedIn search engine to find additional people like that. So in your world, Heidi, you assist folks with circulation clothing, like clothes the socks and things that might assist us with slow blood pressure or things.
Right. Well, poor circulation, like people with varicose veins that, don't have the circulation that they need. So they need the garments to help with the swelling, to reduce swelling. So that's what I do.
Yes. So you could straight up, especially your passion is so intimate about this, and you could write a small article or provide some tips for people who might not automatically have access. our older generation has access to and automatically wants to know how they can stay warm. But people outside of that traditional target market might also be looking for your product, but they don't understand that all socks are not created equal, for example. Okay.
Right.
LinkedIn provides a platform for you to, first of all, do a search. Who's looking for circulation assisting clothing or footwear, garments. And you can ask that question in the search engine. You can then look at different posts that have been coming out about that, different individuals and their stories about their experience in that way, jobs in the field.
Right.
You see, and then you could another approach where you're attracting business to you by sharing a how-to article, how to look for this garment when it's time, how to find a consultant when your life is changing and now your temperature has dropped. Just making an example, right? But it is a how-to catch-all. It's a how-to network for sure. And then at the end, you can give a synopsis for who you are. You know, not just your first and last name, but comma CEO of, or, you know, personal consultant to, and then you can name your target audience. That way, when they're finished reading your article, they can reach out to you directly.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're practically like marketing yourself.
Yes, but in a way that's much more relevant to how we do in the real world. So there is etiquette, like social etiquette, that we be kind to one another, social etiquette that we try to build a common thread before we ask for anything. The social etiquette that says, let me share with you who I am and a little bit more about me before I tell you. I should reframe that. Let me share with you a little bit more about my business philosophy before I tell you about my business product and services.
Yes.
And you'll see that as you start doing some research, again, using that search engine, just like you would Google, but for business questions.
Got it.
I'm going to take a sec and look for more comments in the, oh, here's
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Selena, please do.
As someone who is adverse to social media, how how would you suggest that they start on any platform? Like, I have a LinkedIn. I don't know how many people are on there. I get requests all the time, but it stresses me out because when you click it, like, it opens up this whole thing and then it's like, wait a minute, how did I get here? I can't. It's stressful for me. So I know that it's valuable, and I know that there are a lot of people who are looking for BSBA probably, but they can only find me, but I'm not on there like that. So what should somebody like me do?
You have a couple of options. First, you just said a whole mouthful. I completely understand the apprehension to be on social media platforms. For those of us who use our cell phones, our text messaging, our emails for business, the last thing we need is a barrage of more contacts coming in with questions and requests using the social media platforms. Totally get that. And if you have a profile, you too then could be using LinkedIn as a voyeur, someone who watches what's going on, is looking out for trends, is especially interested in maybe sharing little known information about an upcoming coalition or upcoming loan or grant program. And if you're looking to share that with a specific group that might be able to open doors for you in other ways, a LinkedIn search could assist you in doing that. So again, it does have so much to do with, so you do have the profile. That part you really can't get away from on any of our social media sites. And you are in no way are you required to like or befriend, or what is that called? Connect with every single person that is requesting for you to do so. I have been on LinkedIn since '09. So it does make sense that I have organically grown to over 5,000 connections. And I probably have about 5,000 people waiting for me to accept their connect. But I'm here to tell you, if you do not know the person on LinkedIn, this isn't Instagram. You need to do your research. And when you click, and so let me explain right quick what I mean by do your research. When someone asks you to connect on LinkedIn, you have the option to click their profile before you accept. A couple of things happen though. Once you look at their profile, they may get a notification that Selena Pryor looked at your profile this week. You would need to set up, you can go into private mode using your settings. If that is your preference, I can easily assist you with that. And there are icons to assist you in your account settings. Number one. Number two, though, is once you have looked at the person who is asking you to connect, you can then either decline the invitation or accept it. And if you decline, number one, that person does not see that you were declined their invitation. So you can clean up, if having a whole row of pending invites gives you a stressed out feeling, you can delete those without worrying that they're gonna, okay? That's number one. The other thing too is you can decide that you're going to delete any invitation that does not come with a personal introduction. So LinkedIn suggests, so let's say I'm new to LinkedIn, I want to befriend Selena or connect with her. So I make that invitation and LinkedIn's going to ask me, do you want to send her a personal note so maybe she knows who the heck you are? If I don't do that, I don't expect that the person I've asked to connect will agree to it. Because LinkedIn is not snobbish, but it does have a social etiquette. So you asked me the question, what if I'm adverse to all things social media? My response is to be a voyeur, use it as a search engine. You asked, what if I have a whole bunch of pendings and it's making me stressed out because I don't want to go through all of those? Just delete the people you don't know and they will not know. Did I miss part of your question?
No. So my follow-up question is, do you manage LinkedIn accounts for people?
Well, I am much more of a strategist. It's my pleasure to assist you in learning the process for how to use it. And we can set up 30-minute consults once a week for me to review your account. That's my pleasure. We can also set up some time within that 30 minutes for you to see how I'm using LinkedIn on the back end. So I can take you through some of my private messages and you can see what is acceptable communication, what's the acceptable language and things of that nature, and what kind of strangers are reaching out to me that I get all excited about. So I can open the door and the process for how I use it as a strategist for you, but I'm somebody who kind of cracks the whip on making you do your own work.
Yes, please. I would love that. Because I really honestly believe in especially when we are business people, we have to utilize whatever social media that we have, whether it's LinkedIn and Instagram, Facebook, everything else, because we're turning into an online society, e-commerce society. So we have to learn every single thing that we can use online to promote ourselves and our businesses. We cannot, I cannot, it's just so important, especially for business people like us.
Amen. And we
So,
have to start reading more. The information is flowing more than it ever has. And it really is up to us to get involved with what we can through reading. We have to be willing to do that. Someone is asking how to get in contact with Cher Jones. Dawn Marie, hello. You go on, you can actually, of course, connect with her on LinkedIn. She is not one of those people who requires a connection. You can follow her, which is rare. Only influencers at some LinkedIn superpower level provide that option. The other way to find Cher Jones is that almost everything she publishes live, she also uploads to YouTube. So you can type in Cher Jones in your YouTube search and check her out in little snippets, or just like do a whole day of Cher Jones if you wanted to go to the school of all things LinkedIn. Oh, personally, on behalf of Lester Consulting, I have used LinkedIn to connect with people in my field. Wonderful. I'm going through and reading some of these questions. If you'd like to be acknowledged right now for your question, please don't wait for me to find it. Unmute yourself and ask, as we are running short on time.
So, Deanna, can we talk about one of the things not to do? and my pet peeve on LinkedIn, when somebody sends me a nice note and says, you know, I'm working with coaches and I see that you're a coach and I would love to connect with you. And I make that leap to connect with them. And the next thing they do is throw advertising at me in my inbox. Oh, we need to get together for coffee because I have a product that you need. You don't even know me. So the auto response is one of the worst things I think that you could possibly do on LinkedIn to someone who you connect with.
Amen. Yeah. I think that is really important for everyone, because we are prospecting. We're businesses, right, everyone? And so we are prospecting for who our target audience is now, right, in the current environment. And so what we really want to do is learn the etiquette, and social etiquette does not, it is not selling on LinkedIn. No. It is relationship building. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Angela, because that is a huge no. As a matter of fact, if that happens to me, I will probably take the time to respond and say, this is not appropriate. I am not on LinkedIn to purchase things without developing a relationship. And unlike people on the phone, typically you do not hear back from that person aside from, please excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not cool. And as businesses, you guys, but professionals, as businesses, when we are reaching out to people on LinkedIn, please consider it like a networking event that you might be in person with someone, and that you are really actually, okay, reading and rereading what you've written so that it is error-free, and also following the typical etiquette that would be in any writing, where there's a period at every sentence and a space between your thoughts and your first and last name at the end with your phone number as a signature. Okay, thank you so much, Angela. I'm going to include that as a slide in future presentations.
That is one of my pet peeves, because as a writer, or especially when I tell people I'm a writer or a ghostwriter, they're expecting me to want to write their story or write a book for them. And what they don't understand is, when I'm reading these articles in LinkedIn, and as a writer, I know grammar quite well, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if you're expecting people to want to do business with you, and they're reading your post and it's not good English, or it's not good grammar, or you're not clear about what you're trying to say, you'll never get a second chance to that person. So contact somebody who's a writer, or ask a friend whose post you've seen that looks good, if they'll at least review your things. It never hurts to ask. It takes me 5 minutes to look at a document and say, I would suggest, versus letting it pass and letting you lose a client. because I want your businesses to survive as much as I want mine to survive.
And everyone within the sound of Miss Jackie's voice, please consider a personal conversation with her, because what we think we don't know about how to present ourselves in writing, she does. And is super consultative, like, warm and inviting. If you're nervous about how you sound or how your writing comes across, she'll set you straight real quick and with kindness. Yeah, these pet peeves are a thing in business, and we are Black, so we are required to be a cut above professionally. We set the standard for what etiquette is in business, and we keep the pace. So keep that in mind, and you'll see what I'm talking about on LinkedIn for sure. We're big doing it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I definitely need her number and information. I need help on all that.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Because it's too
By
bad,
the
because
way.
sometimes it's so hard to put my mind into, you see what I mean, on a paper in a way is simple and comprehensive. It's hard because
Yes.
I'm not a writer, I'm just a business person. So it would
Yeah.
help to have somebody like her to help me put what I'm thinking into a paper that everyone can understand.
Well, now, if you're talking about consultation where you don't know what you want to say, but you have an idea about how you want to present yourself, that is a different product and service in itself. But I really want to get to the other questions in the chat because we have like 3 minutes. I came, hey, Sonia Peloni. I came in, I have one question. What is the biggest difference between the paid versus non-paid account? Okay, you did miss that. The paid account is really for people who are either hiring soon and want to have access to applicants that you cannot find, anywhere else. And the second reason is for having direct access through private messaging to the big wigs, people in the $10 million net worth or above, like, as we said, Sir Charles Branson.
Branson.
Thank you.
But you know what? Talking about Jackie, and I write a lot of stuff. You know that. I've been in books, I've written books, I've done stuff, and my English is pretty good. But sometimes things don't read well to me, and Jackie is my go-to hire. It's like I'm writing a new bio or I'm writing a chapter for a book. If it doesn't sound 100% to me, she's my go-to person. And she always comes up with suggestions that make it just that much better. And I love her for that.
Amen. 3 snaps in a circle. Will LinkedIn help my business highlight events, achievements, etc.? Absolutely. LinkedIn is the place to do that. If you are highlighting, I hope you're hearing the significant difference here between highlighting the events and selling something. So yes, and especially from a previous experience. So yesterday I was the speaker with the BSBA SAC TAP. Love the engagement, If you'd like to be included in future engagements, please, we'd love to have you. Here's my contact information. Maybe my email address or contact me in the chat. Another thing that LinkedIn helps us do, and you'll see this when you start to go through the newsreel. Yes. The first page when you open it up is going to give you, just like Facebook, right, a whole bunch of scroll downs. You'll start to see that people are not only talking about their business philosophies, but they're also highlighting their business's achievements and special events. LinkedIn is an international platform, so sometimes it's not as relevant to highlight an event that's local. But if the reason you had the event is something that everyone can relate to, then it is a reason to highlight that event, even though it happened locally. Great question. Am I missing someone's questions here? really coming in. We do have a facilitator evaluation form. We really do review them. Well, I for sure review mine when I can. And I would love to have your feedback so that we might improve or add or take away this conversation from essential services workshops that help your business thrive in these times. That evaluation is listed in the chat. Feel free to get started on it now. Oh, Selena also posted a small business directory questionnaire. Very good. This is where you might want to be included, as this is the last month of this SACTAP for 2020. And so if you are interested in being part of BSBA's directory, please do apply for that opportunity as it is listed in the chat. Tomorrow night is our last session for this week, and I invite you all to be in attendance. We have started to be quite a cohesive group, and so for the core group of us who are in attendance on tonight, welcome.
Don't forget your info. We need your information.
It's not showing. This is my information. You
Oh, the
are
one right
well
here?
connected. Get on your path to success. My LinkedIn, phone number, email address, and
Oh,
website
perfect.
are listed on this page.
Yeah, sorry. I thought this was just for the whole, all right. Got it.
Thank you for reminding me to
Thank
like
you.
state the obvious, but that's the point today, guys.
Yes.
Nothing is obvious. We have to be willing to be thorough and to speak slowly and provide multiple ways for people to have access to us. Yes. No assumptions.
I posted, well, I sent you a private message about the resources tab, the newly added resources tab on the BSBA page. I know you've been really filled in a lot of information, so you've done an absolute wonderful job. But I just want to let you guys know that we've added a resources tab to the website where we're going to be listing the loans and the grants that we come across that are available. So check that out. Information as it comes in, we'll put it on there. Anything that's happening, I'm waiting for an updated document about this new stimulus package from the federal government that I want to post so you can see exactly what's in it and how it may be able to help you or may not. We've also written a letter to a very nice, a very nicey letter to the governor about him closing our small businesses and the impact that it's had on our community. And I'll be posting that on the website as well, and probably on Facebook. So keep a lookout for that. We are doing some very important work, and maybe things aren't happening to the naked eye, but things are happening. So please, please, please use the website as a resource. I'm not going to end Deanna's class because, oh, Martha you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Me and my husband, we opened up a business a year before COVID hit, and we've been struggling. And I know we didn't get any PPE or SBA money because we had just opened and I hadn't set up payroll. But I have been trying to get a hold of the consulting to have the one-on-one. And so I wanted to see if someone could reach out to me on that.
What exactly are you trying to do? Are you trying to apply for funding? Are you looking, because we have partnerships with other entities. That's why I'm asking. So I want to make sure I can get you to the right person.
So I could put my information in, but I know that we did get the $5,000 forgivable from the city, and I have to attend these conferences. And I represent Northern California for a large health organization full time, and it's just me and my husband in the business. And so we're really looking at closing it, and it's been very heartbreaking for us because we didn't get any of that federal money due to the fact we hadn't set up payroll because we didn't know how often our employees would be working. So I'll put my number in the chat, and if someone can reach out to me, because we're kind of at the end of the line, invested our life savings into this, and we're giving it 3 more months and probably going to have to close. But one thing is, he's a pretty well-known chef, and he's been reluctant to do LinkedIn because a lot of the competitors have come in and asked for his recipes and wanted his recipes or taken pictures and not introduce themselves. And so we've been hesitant with that piece of it as a restaurant.
I am going to step back and I'm going to let Deanna or Angela respond to you, but put your information in the chat, because what I would like to do is connect you with Angela, but I'm also going to connect you with Heather Lutzi, who is the executive, what is she, Angela? The executive director, no, the district director for the Sacramento SBA office. And so she'll be able to kind of give you maybe more guidance on how to qualify for this next round of funding as it comes. And if you're interested in applying for any loans, we do have a partnership with the Women's Business Center and California Capital, and I will be happy to connect you with the people that run that service over there.
Oh, thank you. I'll put my number in the chat. You know, we are a minority-owned business. He's Hispanic, I'm a woman, I'm close to 60, and we just got Great Plates, which is helping us a lot, but it's very, very heartbreaking for us right now because it's affecting not only our business dream, but our family and our life, you know? So I'll put my number in the chat if one of you could call me back.
Okay, and Martha, this is Angela. I just put my information in the chat also. So feel free to contact me if you like.
Thank you.
Ms. Martha, I'm also interested in speaking with you. It is not likely that I would reach out. Who says that? But I did. But my information is there. And if you are interested in having a consult on how LinkedIn might be a benefit to you and your business with your husband, I'd be open to having that conversation for at least 30 minutes with you so you can make some decisions about how you want to present yourself in a way that you can actually trust.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I work in public relations. I represent half the state, and it's so easy when you're working for someone else and you have autonomy, but when you're working for your own business, there are so many levels, and we just were not ready for the levels that we encountered. And also the real estate piece, because what happened was we signed a lease and we couldn't open for a year. And we invested almost $100,000 in opening the business because the city and county wouldn't let us operate. So for a year, my husband didn't have any income because he couldn't cater and he couldn't cook and he couldn't open. And then we opened and COVID hit. So it's just been a very, very sad journey for us. But we were happy we got Great Plates, which we should have gotten on the first round because we had over 30 years of background in nutrition and in the business and restaurant and catering and gerontology. So we're working with Matt Burgess, who's been fabulous, and I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
All of our best to you. I really am glad that you spoke out this evening, and I'm hoping that we will have a good story to tell in the months ahead. Yes.
Yeah, have her put her number in because I don't see it in the chat yet.
Mm-hmm. I don't see it either.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I want to stay on the line for, because she was probably speaking and now she can't speak because she's typing, okay? So I would like to keep the line open and yet also release anyone from the call who is like, okay, it's 10 after 7. Please feel free to have this be the close of our meeting. And at the same time, keep in touch. You know how to reach out. We'll be so excited to see you tomorrow. And then as our year is ending out, be kind to yourself and to others. We need each other. Now is the time that energy matters more than ever. So let's try and really enjoy the holidays and be okay if we're not enjoying the holidays.
And you know, last thing, Martha, if she wants to reach out to me too, because I've been in a restaurant business for a long time, And I've been part of the, you know, the Black Small Business Administration task force for a long time, how to navigate all this thing going on for 2-3 months. I know Angela was there with me, so it was a hard thing, but you know, if she needs some advice, she can reach out to me too.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Zion.
Okay.
Wonderful. And so without further ado, I wish you all a good night.
Thank you so much, Deanna. This was great information. Thank you.